I remember the screen test more than I do the first scene.
And what was that like? What did you have to do?
Well, this is a fascinating story, actually. I don't know if I've shared this publicly, but I had booked 90210 in December of 2010. And this was off of like 9 months. I quit my serving job in April because I booked a few national commercials. And those national commercials paid enough for me to quit my job. My bills were like $1,700 a month at that time. And I had like 2 years worth of money from those national commercials. So I said, well, if I just stay within 1,700, I can have 2 full years to not go serve and just audition. So I did a little auditioning, a lot of partying. And then in December, I booked 90210. And I remember that audition was at 9 in the morning in Manhattan Beach, which anyone who lives in Los Angeles, if you're driving from the Valley to Manhattan Beach at 9 in the morning, you have to be up at like 6 to get there. I sat in the chair. I did it twice, got a call, and they never even called me in again. They booked me from tape.
Wow.
So I went from, just this commercial actor who's done a couple little things to now being on a primetime television show, which is every actor's dream. And I was going to be on the last episode of season 3. So I said, there's a real chance that I could be a series regular in season 4. And there was a lot of attention around my character, and because they were telling a love story between 2 men as well. And that was all starting around that time where they were starting to tell those love stories. And so I was doing that for 3 to 4 months. With 3 weeks left of 90210, I get an audition for Days of Our Lives. And the character's name was not Sonny, it was something else. And he was a jock or something. And I went and read, and I got a call back. And in the callback, the casting director, Marnie, says, I want to let you know that I think she said, we like you, and we want you to know that the character is actually going to be gay. And I wanted to see if you were comfortable with that or what your thoughts were. And in the room, as my punk self at 22 on a primetime show, being like, I'm going to be a series regular, I'm fine with that. I play a gay character right now in 90210, and I said, at this time, I don't want to be typecast. And because back in the day, there weren't many characters who were gay on television. Now, it doesn't matter because there's tons of roles. Mm-hmm. But back then, if there was only one role a year, you wouldn't want to be typecast where you have not as much opportunity. So I told her in the room, no.
Oh my gosh.
And I left.
You were how old?
Probably like 22 or something.
Oh my gosh.
And I was finishing up 90210. I finished the last episode of the season finale of season 3 of 90210. I finished. I'm still dating the guy in the show at the end of season 3.
Right.
Well, that's a guaranteed.
Oh, I'll be back.
I'll be back. How would you not? So I get a call from my manager about a week later, and he sees the role of, which is now Sonny, back on the breakdowns. And for anyone who's not in the industry, the breakdown service is essentially this, what would you call it, a website?
Yeah.
Or a system where all the industry put out the TV and movie auditions, and it'll show like Days of Our Lives looking for a Caucasian male, 25 to 30, and then they give the description, and if that sounds like you, managers and agents will submit you for that role. Right. So Sonny came back out on the breakdowns, and my manager called me and goes, hey, I saw that Days of Our Lives series regular came back down. He goes, whatever happened with that callback of yours?
You never told me.
I never told him. And I said, I told Marnie in the room that I was like, thank you, but I'll pass. And he goes, are you crazy? He goes, you need to go back in there. He goes, you never pass until there's a deal on the table, and then you look at all the deal, and then you do it. He's like, I got to try to get you back in.
Oh my gosh.
So he calls me back, and he goes, hey, they're going to see you again.
Oh my gosh.
So I go back in, I read for Sonny, and then I go to producers. And this is where we go to, I want to say, who was in there? Was it Albert? There was a couple producers in there. I forget who it was. But I remember Marnie was reading opposite of me, and there was down to like 4 of us in this producer session. So they did a casting call of probably 500 people. They narrowed it down to 4 of us to go and read for the producers. And she was behind me, like, going like this, and she, like, wanted me to smile more. And now when you know Sonny, you know what they had in mind. He's the, hey, like, kind of guy. So I guess I was playing it more as my 22-year-old, like, dark, cool self, you know? And there's even people who commented on, like, my pants were sagging in the first few episodes. And, like, I was just, like, my hair and just, like, hey, you know, I wasn't as mature.
Yeah.
So I get a call, and they said, now we're going to screen test you. And what a screen test is they will bring, actually my 4 people was inaccurate because there were 7 people testing. So they must have brought in like 7 people for producers, and then they were going to screen test all 7 of us. So what a screen test is that's the final step. And it's a chemistry read, as they would say in prime time, or a screen test, which they do as well. Mm-hmm. So I went to the Days of Our Lives set. They put you through hair and makeup with your other 6 competition. And I went and did a scene on camera with Judy Evans, who plays my mom, Chandler, and I think that was it, if I'm forgetting anybody. So we did a scene. So all 7 of us went in, did the scene, and then we leave. But here's the interesting part. Guy Wilson was in the screen test for Sonny, who replaced Will for a couple years.
What?
Here's what's even crazier. When I said no the first time around, they screen tested 7 actors, 1 being Guy Wilson and 6 other people. So they screen tested, but after watching the tapes back, they go, none of these people are Sonny. The closest one is Guy Wilson. Let's save Guy, and we need to re-release this role and try to find him.
Oh.
So they re-released the role. My manager saw. I went in, got to the screen test. So it was me, Guy Wilson, and 5 other people screen testing. They brought him back again to screen test. And once I left, when I heard through the grapevine that one of the producers said, after watching all of it, there was just one choice. So they knew instantly it was me. So that's the fate of Sonny, how as much as people want to see what color shirt do I wear, did I do good, they were looking for me.
And they found you.
And that's what they do on all these shows.
They knew what they were looking for.
And at that time, I was they wanted me.